we know that central bank digital currencies are coming. Right. They're on the way, right? On the way. That's like the ultimate form of control for a government.
No savings.
Yeah.
That's the scary shit. No savings.
Yes. Because I believe they already tried this, or they've experimented a little bit with this in China, where it's like a digital yuan.
Yeah.
But you can't save with it. The money has an expiry date, so you have to spend it within, say, 30 or 60 days or whatever.
Sterling's plugged in, you guys, man. There's some guy that asked earlier, yo, is Sterling really in crypto? Yes, he is. You hear this man right now. Shoo!
Okay, so we know like the end goal is like, because every government wants to establish more and more, like, there's never been a government that is like, governments always go more authoritarian. They don't go less authoritarian. They never give up freedom. Like, they never give up control, rather.
Right.
Once they've established control, like,
they want more.
They always get more. Like, they don't repeal, like, what was the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
From, like, when 9/11 happened, they used it it was an excuse to pass through the Patriot Act, so they can spy on all your. It
was the NSA Act. That's what it was.
Yeah. That never got repealed.
No.
Like, this stuff never goes away. It always goes in one direction, right? So once they grab more power, great. They'll hold on to it. They won't repeal it, and they'll just keep pressing forward and forward. So we know it's all going in one direction, and that direction is getting closer to central bank digital currencies. Because, the example was the Chinese one, which was played around with, and I believe it had an expiry date, so you literally couldn't have any savings, which is a terrifying idea.
Yeah. And
then, think of the other things that's going to be linked to. It's going to be linked in China. They would link it to like their social credit score. They would link it to you'll eventually have an individual personal emissions score.
Right.
Like it's all based around and was it your mother? You said your mother, or your grandmother?
My mother.
Your mother figured it out straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we have to cook on electric stoves, we can't cook on gas. They can turn off our. If the electricity goes out, we can't feed ourselves. Right. Okay, your social credit score has gone down, man, because you questioned the government. Right. So we're going to cut off electricity to your house, and now you can't spend your digital currency to buy any food either. And it's like,
and no guns too. You can't have guns.
You definitely wouldn't have a gun. But that's probably the one thing that's keeping this country alive.
Yo, okay, can I right now I keep going back to Australia. Like, that was so you guys have like the wildest, like, one of the wildest founding stories. Like, prison. There was so much prisons. There were so many prisoners in the UK that they had to ship them over to Australia. And obviously, it was kind of, they would just throw anybody in jail back in the day. It wasn't really like actual prisoners. But it was actually a lot of. If I remember correctly, there was a lot of Irish trying to feed, like, basically stealing an apple here and there to try to feed their family and their kids. Dude, and they ended up getting, like, shipped off to Australia. To the fucking, the kangaroo.
And think about that, like on a boat. That's a long ass trip. That's like 6 months at sea.
Right.
Like, in a prison ship. That would suck. But it wasn't all, it was prisoners and then colonists. So it's both, a bit of mixture of both.
It probably was not completely on par, but like kind of slave ship-y-ish,
A little bit, kind of like indentured servitude, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, so you imagine those people, right? That would be like the number one people I would think that have guns. And you guys don't have guns, really.
We did. So before in Australia, when I was a kid, we had the Port Arthur massacre, which was this like mass shooting that happened in Tasmania. I think it was, I don't know,
was it a school shooting or something?
No, I think it was like, if I remember correctly, it might have been a McDonald's, actually. If I remember correctly, some dude basically walked in with like an automatic weapon. I think it was an automatic weapon, and he shot a bunch of people, and that was it. And then within like a few months, John Howard instituted like the gun buyback scheme, and they bought back all the firearms, and now the only people that are allowed to have firearms in Australia are farmers. So my uncle has like firearm guns and stuff, but it's basically like shotguns and 22s. That's basically it. That's all you're allowed to have, like to kill parrots and kangaroos and shit, pests. But prior to that, Australians had a lot of firearms. Like, Australians owned a lot of weapons, a lot. You think about like, it's like pioneer culture. It's the same as like the Wild West of America. That was Australia.
I couldn't imagine living in Australia without a gun.